The utility principle is hedonic aspect. We call it sometimes hedonic aspect, the utility principle. It states that the only thing that is good in itself is some specific time of state. For example, pleasure, happiness, welfare. So these things are good. The only thing that is good in itself is something specific, like pleasure. Pleasure is good by itself, happiness is good by itself, and welfare is good by itself. These are the only things which are good in themselves, which are the end for themselves. That means just pleasure is a pleasure, it's an end by itself. Happiness and welfare are just the end for themselves. So hedonistic utilitarianism view pleasure as the sole good and pain as the only evil. See, pleasure is the only good thing and pain is the only evil thing in the hedonistic utilitarianism. An act is right if it either brings about more pleasure than pain. If an action brings more pleasure than pain or prevents pain, and an act is wrong if it either brings about more pain than pleasure or prevents pleasure from occurring. So this is another important point regarding utility principle. What did John Stuart Mill quality over quantity? The quality over quantity of John Stuart Mill. It was to meet the sorts of objections and save utilitarianism from the change of being pig philosophy that Bentham's successor, John Stuart Mill, sought to distinguish happiness from mere sensual pleasure. A happiness, there is happiness of the higher people and happiness of the lower people. That means there is a mere happiness of the sensual pleasure and there is a big happiness or happiness of the philosophers. So Mill argued that the higher or more refined pleasure are superior to the lower ones. So there is a difference in terms of happiness. That means how people feel happy. Maybe if they are eating food and if they feel satisfied and if they feel happy, that's an example of the lower happiness. Whereas intellectuality, thinking, understanding are the things of examples of the higher or the superior happiness. Therefore, it is better to be human being dissatisfied, according to John Stuart Mill. It's better to be human being dissatisfied than a pig satisfied, you see, or better to be Socrates dissatisfied than a fool satisfied. This is amazing expression, how it's helping us to understand the meaning of the happiness of the higher and happiness of the mere sensual pleasure. Humans are the kind of creatures who require more to be truly happy. So this is the nature of human being who would like to be happy from the creatures. So according Mill, Mill is clearly pushing the boundaries of the concept of pleasure by emphasizing on the higher qualities such as knowledge, intelligence, freedom, friendship, love, health. These are the highest concepts of pleasure. Pleasure or happiness. So the boundaries that Mill set for the concepts of pleasure by the higher qualities that can give us, that can make us more happier. That means it's about freedom. Freedom is much more that can make people happier than food. This is all for this video. I hope you got it helpful, and thanks for watching. See you in the next video.